So my wife got everything in the divorce. She left the marriage a millionaire. I left with nothing. Basically got a bag of clothes, legal issues, PTSD, depression, anxiety, bunch of debt, credit ruined, lost my career, my reputation, everything, right? She got it all and I lost it all. Seems about fair, right? And before you women ask, no, I didn't do anything to deserve it. Was I a perfect husband? No. Did I cheat? No. Was I abusive? No. Did I try to give her everything she ever wanted? Yes. And that was the problem. She wanted more and more and more. And then I went into a depression. And as soon as that happened, boom, like a bag of trash to the fucking curb. In fact, you know the crazy part of all this? I've been dealing with this for 4 years. About 2 years ago, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. So I made a deal. Just get it over with, right? I'm just going to put all this behind me. I'm going to move. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go move with my parents for a year, put my life back together. And guess what happened? Court said no.
This is a common theme that we see is you get into a situation or a marriage, and a lot of times, like, and I don't entirely know his predicament. He said he wasn't abusive, he wasn't a bad husband, but he wasn't perfect. And I've seen the trend online where women are bragging about having to leave the good man, which is just treacherous, like bragging about leaving a good man, destroying a family because you were unhappy, you're trying to find yourself, or whatever the case may be. A lot of times you know what that is. You got somebody on the back end sliding her something, and she's trying to think about maybe what if I was on this other side of the fence. So it always looks greener, but it's green where you water your grass. So he basically got married, thought that putting her on a pedestal and giving her everything and giving her the world would make life perfect, or it'd make her love him more, or put him in a situation where he'd have a lasting marriage. And a lot of times that's just not the situation, because there's, regardless of who you are, what you have, you could be wealthy, you could be attractive. Women are emotion based. So it's like, however they feel, that really kind of dictates what you don't make me feel happy. You don't make me feel good. Men are logical thinkers. A lot of time the approach we take is a logical approach. We're thinking like, all right, okay, this is the problem. This is the solution. These are the different situations, and this is how we could deal with it. And then we try to take the most logical route. A lot of times women are expressing how they feel. So if you're trying to please somebody and their emotions are fleeing and everything that they have is based on emotion, then you're setting yourself up for failure. I think as men, you need to really focus on your purpose. You need to focus on yourself, because unfortunately, no matter how much you pour into her, it's never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough. You could look at the wealthiest man. Look at Tom Brady, his situation. Yeah, was he traveling away from his family often? But you would think that so many women desire this man, but yet his wife left him for her trainer. You see what I'm saying? Like, one of the most successful, most accolades, sorry, in football, one of the best quarterbacks that probably ever lived, but yet his wife left him for an average guy who's a trainer, you know? So that tells you here, man, it's like, it doesn't matter how much you give to somebody. It's not about like, even like emotionally or physically or financially. You just have to have balance with that right person and continue to grow and evolve and work on yourself, because as soon as you lose yourself, that attraction to you will be lost. And it sounds like that would kind of happen to it. He focused on everything. And also, it's like there's signs to it. Like, don't get me wrong. People change, men change, women change. But a lot of times by her character, how she interacts, like if she's basically gold digging, or not even it doesn't have to be gold digging. It just like she's focused on the finer things. She's materialistic, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people want nicer things, or they're accustomed to it. That's what they're acclimated to. Their lifestyle was that way. Especially if you get somebody who's spoiled, that's used to having everything, then they're expecting that love language is probably gift exchange. So yeah, assessing who you're dating, that's another thing. Is like, do you guys have the same core like values? And on top of that, what's her love language? sometimes we see a pretty face and we ready to give it all away, and that's a lot of times that puts us in a predicament like this. But I think marriage can be good, like I said, if both people understand their roles and they're on the same page and you can communicate, you can have a healthy relationship. And there's a lot that do exist, but it's something that you have to be very cautious of.
Why? Because somebody doesn't want to let go. I've been dealing with the fucking divorce for longer than we were actually married. And I'm going to be dealing with it for a few more years. No person should lose everything they ever worked for because of the person they married. It shouldn't happen. And yes, I was dumb. I was naive. I believed in love, and she believed in fucking evil. So if you're a man struggling, you're not fucking alone. Okay? Just want to let you know that. This is the one crash out I'm ever going to have on social media. Hope you enjoyed. So my wife got it.
I hope you mean that, sir. I hope everything works out for you, because a lot of people get stuck in this predicament, and then it's just like, we want equality, but then okay, let's update the marriage laws, let's update family court laws, because like it's so skewed in one direction that it's almost not desirable as a man to even get married anymore. It's like, what benefit do I have when you could work hard your entire life? He said she left with millions, he left with bags. You see what I'm saying? And then it got to the point where he was down and out and depressed and no longer producing, and hypergamy kicks in and she's automatically looking the other way. And finances are one of the biggest things, or the biggest issues that cause divorce and relationships and marriages, is finances. So when you go into a relationship or a marriage, you got to understand it's a business. It's not just you finding love, and a lot of people think it's that. But for me, I understand that it's a structure set up. When you sign a marriage license, you're adhering to a contract. A lot of people oppose the prenups. Oh, that's like, you're planning for us to fail in this relationship. No, you're not. You're taking your livelihood into your own hands. That's like, all right, for example, you go to a new job and they give you this long employee contract, and there's some stipulations in there that aren't in your favor. Do you just sign it just because they say you have to work here 30 years and the first 10 years are free, no pay? Are you going to sign up for it because that's in the contract? No, it doesn't make sense. Instead, you want to amend the contract. You want to get something that's more favorable for both parties. So prenup doesn't necessarily mean you're failing. You're planning to fail. It's just, I want to put something, a structure in place, because guess what? By the time, if that ever does happen, we're splitting our ways. I guarantee you, we are not going to be the same people. We're not going to feel the same way about each other. So instead of making this a huge mess, let's hash this out now so we both understand what's up for stake and how we're going to split this out. Because anytime, like most time you're in a situation with divorce, it's not a calm, patient, enjoyable process. It's not. It's like you're usually fighting for years. Like you said, this process has lasted longer than his marriage. So, I mean, I'm not against getting married. I think a union with God is important, but when you bring the state and into it and you bring a contract, it's a completely different monster. So, again, there's two ways to look at it. I think spiritually you could be bound, but once you sign that paper, you better get a prenup, because if you don't, they're already making your contract for you. And to me, that's just bad business. And if you don't think of marriage as a business, then I don't know what to tell you. Keep doing this and you're going to end up just like this guy. And even then you can do everything right and it still not work out, but at least protect yourself, you know? And that goes for both parties. As I said, you doing it properly, you both need legal counsel going into, a prenup. So I think it's up to him to make a better decision and figure out what's going to be beneficial for him. And I guess not just focusing on putting her on the pedestal. So you tell me what you think. You think, should you never get married? Are we in a climate where the exchange that it's not worth it? It's too much of a risk to get married. And a lot of times, you got a lot of women that don't want to take on those traditional roles. as a man, I appreciate a woman that still likes to cook and cater to her man, and that actually wants to be a mom, you know, that takes like motherhood serious or pride in motherhood. So for me, it's just like, man, be careful in picking your partners, you know, and who you choose, you know, your wife or your husband. Make sure you choose somebody who has the same ideologies and the moral compass as you do. So let me know what you think in the comments. Turn on that post notification, subscribe. Thank you for joining me, but I am out. Peace.